sure you get and have your college scholarship dashboard. It makes filling out the scholarship so much easier. Okay. So you are going to, once you get it, you are going to click on the tool link to pop up. And when you click on the tool link, what you're going to do is you're wait for it much faster. And it's going to really allow you to put together the scholarship much smoother. Because remember, during scholar hour, it is the scholarship with until the end. I show you how you can have this edited for you, so that way you have it done. It's on its way out, and you're not sitting there thinking about, is this good? Is this not good? We edit it for you. The other thing that you're going to need is a pen or pencil and a piece of paper. That's going to allow you to jot down your ideas, because by the time that you're done with this is going to be a template. For those of you that already do scholar hour, then you already know, you make the decision, because we practice the 3-2-1 method. If you've already worked with me, you already have your 3-2-1. And what that is the different types of scholarships that you're applying for every day. There's roughly, in order to get to the goal that we've set forth, ideally, you want to get around $5,000 worth of scholarships every month. It can go even higher. Good, am I not doing good? Dollars in scholarship funds every month. And so that requires you to be applying at least 6 days a week. Okay. You have Sundays off, or let's say you're busy all day Saturday, which is you're doing sports. That's definitely a thing where you're like, I've been busy all Saturday. Sunday, remember, you're only dedicating 1 hour. You go through this template. You need to be applying for 3 local scholarships. So what does that mean? That means local scholarships that are either area specific, they are specific based upon you specifically, like your demographic. Your demographic can be a lot. Your demographic can be skills, it can be race, it could be color of your eyes, it can be whatever makes you you. Okay, that's what you have there that you can work on and focus on. And then 2, you're looking for 2 regional scholarships. That could be like if you live down south, or if you live on the East Coast, those are regional scholarships. And then 1 is national. Most of the time during scholar hour is national. So if you have important, you have the option, you get your toolkit to meet me. We can go in, get everything to the nitty-gritty of the types of scholarships that you have that you could be applying for. How do you find those scholarships? Yes, we go in depth to see what does that look like for you. Okay, so what we have here is, let's first go to the scholarship, so that way we have an understanding of the types of people that they're looking for. Okay, so it looks like they already picked their person for 2024, but they still have availability for 2025. This scholarship is due on August 1st, 2025. Okay, August 1st, 2025. And let's go through a little bit about what they're looking for. So it's awarded to a high school senior, undergraduate, or graduate student who has demonstrated outstanding achievement, participation, and leadership in school activities and work experience, and interest in pursuing a career in the health and fitness-related fields. The student may apply and use the money for education-related expenses, including tuition, fees, books, supplies, and room and board. That last part is what we want to hear in the sense of scholarships, because that may mean that they are open to not paying it directly to the college. There might be other ways that they're okay with paying out that $1,500 scholarship award. This becomes really, really important. We're talking about scholarship displacement. That's a whole other thing, but basically we need to make sure with the scholarship funds that it can go in other places, in case once you reach your max of what that college is allowing for that area. I don't want to get too deep on this video, but whatever you reach that max for that amount, then we have other ways that we can still utilize the scholarship, okay? And so it's August 1st, and the scholarship is ideally for someone who is in the fitness, it's a fitness sponsored scholarship. Okay, so let's talk about it. So you have to be United States citizen, 50 or legal resident living in the United States or DC or Puerto Rico, be a current high school senior, undergraduate, or graduate student who plans to enroll full time in an accredited 2-year or 4-year university in the United States, okay, for the 2025-2026 school year. This one is great because I always love scholarships that are, definitely for college students, that's super important, but also high school seniors, because sometimes all of us are not able to have had a scholar hour for their entire 4-year journey of high school. So if you caught it now in terms of in your senior year, then you can still utilize it. So that's great. You're not alone. So many people are that way. You want to demonstrate an ambition and self-drive as evidenced by outstanding achievement, participation, and leadership in school activities and work experience. Demonstrate interest in pursuing a career and enrolled in the following majors, okay? So senior, you have more flexibility, but it's the same thing that I say every time, is that we want to make sure there's a solid through line. We want to make sure there's a solid story. We want to make sure it's solid in terms of what's being stated, okay? So athletic training, health policy, psychology, biology, kinesiology, nursing, general medicine, dentistry, behavioral sciences, personal training, physical education, teaching and coaching, health and physical fitness, exercise science, sports and recreational management, health sciences, physical therapist, or another health-related major. So this lets me know while they're looking for a health-related major, they are open. They are open to the process, okay? They're open to see what you have. Once again, they're only looking for one recipient for the $1,500 scholarship award, and you must use it during the 2025 fall semester. Okay, how do you apply? So students must gather the following information: details of outstanding achievement in school, list of involvement in school and community activities, list of work experiences, current high school or university cumulative grade point average on a 4.0 or 5.0 scale. For the 5.0 scale, what they're really talking about is if you had AP classes, they usually count more than just an A, right? They can allow your GPA to go higher than a 4.0. Okay. Only electronic scholarship applications received through the above process will be considered. Paper copies of application, resumes, or materials will not be accepted. Okay. And that's fine. Okay. You definitely want to have it via making sure that it's all there and they can easily access it. Okay. So electronic is something that's completely fine. So what we want to do here is into your college dashboard. I hope you have your toolkit at this time, because this is how we keep track of what we are filling out. Okay, so you always want to make sure that you're filling out that information. I use the HBCU college comparison. There's a 10-year design for is another component that I like on this one in terms of adding the awards together, so you can easily see how much you already have, how many they like the most. The other one that I've created, it still has a lot of this in terms of say what's started, not started, applied, awarded. So you can use whichever one you like. I just know that this is my personal preference, but there are two scholarship tracks. The Michael Moody Fitness, and this one is national. So for example, there are some that are like California. You could say that one's local, but it's really because California is so that one would be a regional. This here, and then you're going to put the link there. The due date is August 1st, 2025. And it lets you know there's 6 days left. The good thing is I'll show you, if we edit it for you, you get it back within 24 to 72 hours. Okay. And then the status is in progress. So once you've applied, then you have it applied. If it's awarded, if it's rejected, you have all of that there. Okay. So you have that, and then let's go ahead and get started. So the way that it's broken down is so we start with an introduction. All of these topics, they're really designed to bring out and make sure that your essay is gonna like pop off the page. And in this case, it's gonna be virtual. Okay, so like pop off the screen. Let's say it that way. Pop off the screen. And the reason why I say that is I want you to think of it this way. And you've heard me say it before if you've been a Scholar Hour before, but I say it so that way you know it. Imagine your essay is number 50 that they've read. Okay. Imagine that they are doing this volunteer. And if you are doing, remember, it's the 3-2-1 method. A lot of the local scholarships and some of the regional scholarships, these are going to be volunteers. They're volunteers. They're doing it because they're passionate about it. They like the mission of it. And so they're volunteers. So what does that mean? That means they usually either had a full work day earlier that day, or they had a full work week if they're doing on a Saturday. So just know that a majority of their time is dedicated towards something else. And just like any other type of human, as they're going through and they're reading the same thing over and over and over again, they're going to get tired. And so when we designed this outline, we designed it with sentences that allow the reader to say, oh my gosh, tell me more. Tell me more about what you're going to say. And when we're going and through and editing it for you, we're making sure that the part that you are saying is grabbing them in a way that says, oh my goodness, I'm rooting for you. That's how we want to do it. Okay. So emotional appeal, hands-on experience, skill development, leadership, example, community focus, connection to future goals. Okay. I do want to go back here really quick, and I want to see if they give us anything else in terms of what they're looking for. Okay, so this just says primary considerations will be given to the applicant's outstanding non-academic and academic achievements and answer the essay questions to the online scholarship application. Okay, with what we put together, you'll be able to, and what we edit, you'll just be able to answer the questions that they have there. Okay, there's semifinalist, finalist. Okay, looks like they are made to the school. Okay, let's hear something about the winner. Okay, because that's exactly what I was looking for. So meet Sean Jones. Completing my undergraduate degree was one of my life's most challenging and rewarding experiences. I enjoy studying, learning, and applying that knowledge within my field. My next step is to attend graduate school and earn a postgraduate degree in athletic training. In addition to this second degree, I would like a strength and conditioning license. I aspire to rebuild my high school athletics program with my health and human development knowledge and make it one of the best programs in the state. A personal quote that I live by is this: some people want it to happen, some wish it would happen, and others make it happen. I do not believe in luck. I firmly believe that success results from preparation, meeting with opportunity. Okay? So this gives us some understanding. While we don't have exactly what he wrote, you see it right there, it doesn't show us what he wrote. It lets us know the type of persons that I want to highlight, and I highlighted it before, is that within the essays, they're definitely looking for you to use the field as a way that benefits you. They want to hear about you. And they also want to hear about you helping others. So you helping others could be like low income. You helping others can be poverty. In this case, you helping others can be my high school gym, my high school training facility. I want to make it the best in the state. Like it definitely is a big dream, but it doesn't feel like out of this, like, wait, what? Like he didn't say like in the nation, he didn't say in the entire world. So it's just like, oh, this guy's just blowing hot air. But no, he said in the state, and that's something that's very doable. So I believe that it has to be aspirational while also meeting the reader in a place of like, okay, I can see this. I can definitely see this. And so this is a good understanding. And many times we definitely like scholarships that let us know about the winner. So that way we can say, okay, like, who was this person and how do we make it happen? Okay. So hands on experience. Let's go there. Let's talk about that for an introduction. Hands on experience. Okay. I felt a surge of stepping outside into the morning air. I felt a sense of reflecting on the events of the past year. I blank at the journey had led me to this moment, events of the past year. Standing in the hallway on the first day of school, from the moment I could walk, I have been raised in a close knit family, blank, family where blank have been blessed with. Okay. So we're talking about health and fitness. So we want to keep it tailored to health and fitness. So I really like the idea. And remember, everybody, please, 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 I want to stress it more and more and more that it has to be something that speaks to you. Remember, you have your paper, you have your pencil, and you ideally have a place where you want to go with it. Meaning, like, you ideally have a place of knowing, like, okay, health and fitness, health and fitness. Okay, I do want to be this, or especially if you're a senior, you could be saying, what is making me really think about and take this major of kinesiology, which is like the understanding of the human body, seriously can be, and this could be a funny joke. Like walking into the crowded cafeteria, I felt a surge of energy and I put one foot in front of the other. And then I realized I couldn't put another foot in front of the other. And I tripped and fell and everybody started laughing. Right. At that moment, I said, I need to know how the body works so this never happens again. And so you can just switch it in a way that can just make light of a situation and talking about, okay, fitness. Or you could go in the very opposite direction. Walking to the crowded cafeteria, I felt a surge of shame because I've always been made fun of for my weight, and I knew that today was no different. Right? Wow, that person's engaged. So you decide how and where you want to take this, because they just want to know in terms of academically where you stand. So that was one. So on your paper, you're going to write one. That's for the introduction. And then you're going to you're going to jot that down. Okay. One. And then you're going to write down whatever you want to do. So you can later expand on this. Or if you can, do a full sentence. Like I said, most people who've already done Scholar Hour, they're already like halfway through this part because they just know the process and they have a rhythm that allows them to really be done within the hour. And don't worry, you too will get there as well. You're going to build a rhythm because in your mind, you're going to say, I'm just going to sit down 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every day. I'm sitting down and I'm doing the scholarship, right? And that scholarship can be the scholarship of the day that we're doing, or the scholarship that we've already worked on in terms of you knowing like, okay, these are the scholarships that best suit me, that increase my chances of getting it. Mind you, I have a scholarship calculator predictor that says what's the prediction rate that you'll actually get that scholarship. I have that, so you can always utilize that as well if you want to know, like, do I do the scholarship for the day or do I do the scholarship that we've worked on? Okay. Hint, hint, usually the scholarship we worked on because it's usually the 3-2-1 method. So you usually have a scholarship already worked on for you. All right. Background. Let's say I want to talk about skill development. Like, so growing up from a tight knit Learning the importance of resilience, hard work, and perseverance from a young age. What do you want to say? Some of these you are going to have to go in and edit. Like that first one, you'd have to go in and edit it a little bit. Looks like this repeated twice. You just go in, edit it, boom, and see what you want to write there. And let's stay with, in terms of learning the importance of resilience, hard work, and perseverance from a young age. I knew that if I didn't do my best, I was going to let my family down. I was going to let my parents down. I was going to let my dad down. And I didn't want that pressure on me to always perform at this high level. So that's what made me want to still be involved in sports, but go into the major of sports and fitness training. Okay. That's just an example. It's just an example to see. You're going to write that down as number 2. Okay. So that's number 2. What do you want to say? What does this mean to you? How do you want to bring your background into why this scholarship about fitness is good for you? Okay, there has to be some sort of link. And you all have that moment, you all have that story that describes that for you. Okay, that's if you pick leadership. So leadership, number 3. So on your piece of paper, you're going to write down number 3. And the reason why you're writing down these numbers is at the end, you're actually going to be emailed a template. And in the template, you're going to just follow what it was that you wrote on your paper. And then that way you're going to just input it and type it and make it go much faster. Okay. So leadership, once again, what do we want to tell them about this leadership? Emotional appeal, hands-on experience, skill development, leadership example, community focus, connection to the future. What is it we want to talk about? We might want to connect to the future. Then what does that look like? I orchestrated and planned a plan that led to success by demonstrating my ability to, in my opinion, leadership requires. As a leader, I aim to be an effective leader, I focus on. When leading a project, I ensure that. What does that look like for you? So let's be honest. Let's say you don't have any strong health connections yet, even though that was super, super broad in terms of what they were looking for. So then if I don't have any concrete ones, then I'm going to think of a time of having one and what that looks like. Okay. Or you can also think of a time where you stepped up with somebody. Like, let's say you wanted to focus on the psychological aspect of it. And let's say you saw the person that entered the cafeteria and you've seen their face drain of color. You've seen their face, their eyes get big with fear, right? Like, oh my God, you've seen it on their face. And that's when you said, hey, you invited them to your table. And then you would describe why that's a leadership moment, because everybody at your table, you were sitting with the cool kids, and the cool kids would never want that type of kid to sit there. But you realized the fear in that person and you wanted them to sit at your table. Okay. So as a leader, I aim to welcome all people, and then I can go into that story. Okay. Okay. So now we're talking about adversity, emotional appeal, hands-on experience, skill development, leadership example, community focus, connection to future goals. So if, let's say I want to talk about my adversity, either if it's something that I saw, overheard, or mine's personally, then, a key lesson I've learned from overcoming adversity is one of the toughest challenges I have overcome is my approach to overcoming obstacles is overcoming obstacles has shaped me into my blank. Strengths look like blank. Okay, what would that look like for you? What would that be? So one of the toughest challenges I have overcome is, and you can pick anything. Remember, it's whatever sentence speaks to you the most. And I think this is number 4. Okay, I think this is number 4. So on your paper, you're going to write down number 4, and then you're going to write down your part to whatever you chose. Okay, so now we're at strength and weaknesses 5. So emotional appeal, hands-on experience, skill development, leadership example, community focus, connection to future goals. Let's say I want to talk about my skill development. Let's say at this stage, I want to talk about something in terms of, let's say I am physical education training and what I have done. Like, so one of my greatest strengths is I've learned to overcome my weaknesses of blank by blank. One area I'm actively working on improving is blank. I have worked hard to develop my strengths in areas like blank. When playing to my strengths, my strengths lie in blank. I have learned to embrace my strengths, such as one of my strengths that I'm working on improving is. Okay, so the thing about strengths is it's crucial to understand what is it that works best and how do you deliver your strengths in a way that don't come off as you're just being super braggadocious. But in an essay, to some extent, you have to like toot your own horn. You have to talk about how good you are. And you don't want to talk about your weaknesses in a way that's like, hey, can this person ever do what they said they're going to do because of the weakness that you listed? So it could be because this one's physical in terms of fitness. You can actually talk about a physical strength that you have or a physical weakness that you have. And then once you learned this technique or this understanding or this eating regimen, it allowed you to move beyond that point. And that's why you really found, whatever aspect of fitness that you want to do super important and crucial. Because you want others to feel the same way when they move past what they perceive to be their limit or their weakness or how to enhance their strength. Okay. So now we're on 6. This is really good stuff, guys. This really gets you in the understand what works, what isn't worked. This is number 6. Emotional community focus, connection to future goals. This is you deciding how do I want that person, how do I want them to receive this information? How do I want them to feel? What information do I want them to have from this? Okay. And let's say you want to talk about a community focus at this point in terms of your work ethic. Okay, so let's go here. So community focus, talk about my academic grades are a reflection of. My grades serve as a testament to I have developed habits to support my work ethic, such as. What does that look like for you? So my grades serve as a testament to what? Like, let's say you really did find an eating habit that allowed you to stay up later or stay up longer and not get so drowsy while you're doing scholar hour, even though I don't think you're going to get drowsy while you're doing scholar hour, but like when you're reading your books or anything like that, like what does that look like for you? What is it that you want to highlight? So that was 6, 7. I think we're on 8. 8. Let's do it again. Emotional appeal, hands-on experience, skill development, leadership example, connection to future goals. What do we want them to take away from it? So this is where we're linking some sort of leadership, some sort of role model aspect to what it is that we do. Okay, so I credit my personal growth to the guidance and support of my mentors who. My mentors have shown me the importance of resilience in the face of challenges such as when faced with tough decisions, I often seek advice from my mentors on. In my journey, I have been fortunate to have mentors who I'm grateful to my mentors for helping me navigate through. Right? On, who, through, kind of rhymes. Okay. So this is the area where you're highlighting about when we're talking about connection to future goals and your role model. It allows the reader, the person that's reviewing your application, to get an understanding of you through your role model. Like, let's say you talked about your mom. Let's say your mom had diabetes growing up, and because of that, she always had to take insulin, and it left her very limited, and many times it would leave her very tired. And also, it would also make everyone around her scared because, let's say she passed out a couple times because of her sugar level went down so low. And that's what, seeing her always get up and fight and, start to plan out her life around diabetes. And then, let's say you brought it up earlier, that's really what made you say, I know that there's a way through fitness that you can control diabetes. And so I started to learn, you know, what that looked like. Or you can tell that story and say, once you entered nutrition class or exercise and wellness class, that's when you learned, like, oh my gosh, there are exercises for this. I want to learn more because I want to help people like my mom. So you're doing a couple things there. I always encourage you throughout your essay, the role model area is a good part to do it. One, you want it to be actual true to you, but you do want to link some sort of family member to it. The reader wants to know, they want to know you. They want to know your family dynamic. Remember, you want them rooting for you. That reviewer is usually a part of a committee. And so the way that it generally works, I'm going to briefly break it down to you, is on a committee, each person gets a set number of essays that they have to read. Okay, so as they read them, once they've, did their ABC tier, whatever that looks like for them, and they come back into committee, they're going to be fighting and advocating, right? So they're going to say, hey, read this. So everyone's going to read all the A's, and they're going to decide, okay, well, compared to this person's not an A. Or, if, let's say they say, oh, this person's not an A, you want somebody in that room to say, no, no, no. Did you see how when they talked about their mom getting diabetes and then still fighting, and they use that as an anchor once they learn from their professor or their teacher that diabetes can be done in another form, and then they organized a drive or a fitness program in the park to fight diabetes? Like, this person's definitely A. And then the other person in the committee is like, whoa, I guess when you explain it like that, I guess they definitely are an A. And in fact, I think they need to be awarded the scholarship. So that's really how you want the person reviewing your essay. You want them to be rooting for you and fighting for you in the committee to select you. And they want to know you. So you want to use this opportunity. I always encourage to write about a mom and not necessarily have the entire essay focused on them, because it's not about them, it's about you. But you want to put insight in because it allows them to see another picture of you. Okay. So that's something that's important. And then if you have a teacher or coach that further highlighted what it is that you're looking to do, then that helps. Okay. So my career, this is like 7 or 8. You guys have your list. So I hope you're keeping track. So we're talking about emotional appeal, hands-on experience, skill development, leadership example, community focus, connection to the future, goals. Which one do you want to choose? Choose anyone. So whenever you guys see me select something up here, guys, that is just an example. You're going to know something that speaks to you because you're going to have a focus. Some people like to do emotional appeal the whole way through. Like, they're like, I want my reviewer crying. Okay. So they're like emotional appeal the entire way through. Sometimes they're like, I really want them to see my leadership aspect. Like, I have worked very, very hard on my leadership skills, and me going out and being a part of different programs and activities and organizing. I want them to see my leadership. So and then sometimes some people want to tell an up and down story, like up and down in terms of like different aspects of them. So it really depends. Okay. So reflecting on my future goal, my future career, I'm excited about. I'm passionate about the idea of contributing to society through. When thinking about my future career, I'm inspired by envisioning my career. I see myself. My career goals are driven by my passion for. My career aspirations are guided by my interest in. So this can be a 2-part area. So this can very much so be, hey, this is about me, and you have a specific through line. Okay. And remember, if you're focusing on you, it's got to be strong. Like, it's got to be like, okay, wow, I see you. But if we don't have that strong of a through line in terms of you, then this is a perfect time when we're talking about my career and whatever you choose, but on my career, to incorporate other people. Like when we read about, I think his name was Sean, the 2020 winner of the scholarship. He talked about his desire to go back to his high school and help them build a great athletic program, athletic and training program. So this is what it is that you're doing in terms of, this is where you incorporate how you help others. Okay, this is where you do it. Okay, and conclusion. This is 8 or 9. Okay, so we have emotional appeal, hands-on experience, skill development, leadership example, community focus, connection to future goals. And then you're putting it there. And then this is our closing. We're definitely using closing language on purpose. I say this every time because even if you go in and edit it, which is perfectly fine, by the way, to go in and edit it, like, I still want you to include something that adds a closing language. So in wrapping up, I'm inspired by, and concluding, I am looking forward to, as I finish this chapter, I'm inspired by, as I come to the end of my reflections, I am encouraged by, as I conclude my thoughts, I am optimistic about. Okay, what does that look like for you? And this is where you want to really wrap up everything that you just said. You want to put it all together in a bow. Okay, so let's take the example of the person feeling overweight and them deciding, like, I need to do something, or the person, let's do it this way, the person that has the mom with diabetes. Okay, then you're talking about, to conclude, it might be, as I conclude my thoughts, I'm optimistic about the fact that not only can I help by me taking this fitness training journey, I'm optimistic about the fact. So as I conclude my thoughts, as me taking this fitness training journey, as you can see, I slightly edited it because I put in what it is that I want to do. Then I'm going to say, I'm optimistic about that. Not only can I help my mom not be so reliant on her insulin and controlling her diabetes, I know that I can help others in my community do the same thing as I did when I held the fitness fighting through diabetes in the park. I know that I can do that across my state. You know, something that allows them to bring it all together. Okay, you want to bring it all together. You want to bring it home. Now you're going to go to your email. Okay, and then we finally got a picture of Michael. Meet Sean Jones. Okay, got a picture of Sean. So go to your email. And you're going to take a look. You would have received at least 2 to 3. This. So you're going to open it. And then once you see it, some of these areas you don't need, okay? So what has a dash at the end, the sentence starter, and you're erasing everything else, okay? So we're just going to take a moment to clean up the outline. I'm going to change that. Let's up that eye off. We are going to delete as I conclude, because that's clearly the conclusion. And so I do want the outline to be, okay? Right. And here we are. You have your if you want this edited, excuse me, if you want this edited, you will join. You can go to Instagram and say school, SKOOL, SKOOL, and you will get a link on how to improve, and you'll get the essay back 24 to 72 hours. Once you're going to go to the chat icon and you're going to upload your essay. And then right here, you're going to just let me know I sent my essay, and that way I know to check. Okay. You're going to do four, and then you're going to do it. So you have 15 minutes during Scholar Hour to go ahead and get this. So that way you can, within the hour, you're going to type in, I hope you're typing it now, transferring it over, and then you're going to send it to me. I'm going to review it, and I'll send it back to you within 24 to 72 hours. Okay. Join College Village today. This is something that when somebody's editing an essay, we're talking about anywhere between $25 to $100 an hour. You're getting up to 7 essays. That's over 31 essays a month, assuming that you're doing it every day. Essays a month edited. So that way it's crystal clear. So you know your child's not up late stressing, you're not stressing, attempting to read it after work, and you're tired. You're just like the scholarship reviewer. You're not that way. This is what we do here. So it's very, very different. We know what we're looking for. We know what's going to make it pop from the screen. And so that's what we do for our students here at College Village, especially during Scholar Hour. So I definitely look forward to see you at inside of College Village. Okay. Have a great rest of